honor to be asked by the one and only Ken Kara. Yes, that's Ken Kara here at All the Penn State Garb to be part of our football preview. We are both unbiased people in this report, both Penn State graduates, and proud of it. Go blue and white. Kenny, I guess let's start at the beginning with the big O. How's the offense looking for this big start to the football season for 2018-19 year?
Sorry, I had to put my baby down. Yeah, so Lisa, offense very exciting. I don't think there's going to be any issue with the Penn State offense. I know you got a big loss with Saquon Barkley, obviously, but there was a guy behind him named Miles Sanders, former 5-star recruit. I don't think the offense is going to miss too much of a step this season, especially with another guy like Trace McSorley coming back, just exudes that confidence. I think he feels like he has something to prove, and I read in an article somewhere that this team wants to prove it wasn't just Saquon Barkley. There's a lot of talent. Dave Seaman's been saying every season about the offensive line getting better, getting more depth. This might be the year we really see that. So I think the offense, huge, pure strength for the Nittany Lions. You got a big receiver like Jawan Johnson. You got a speedy guy like DeAndre Tompkins. There's some losses there, but I think the offense definitely the strength of this team. Now the defense. The defense.
The defense. Let's hear about that, because I agreed with every word you said on the offense, of course.
Of course we agree, Lisa, of course. So this year I lead off the defense with linebacker you, and it's kind of a question mark there for Penn State this season as you lose some of the very talented players from last year. You got a guy like Koa Farmer coming back who has a lot of talent. Manny Bowen, who was not on the team, asked to leave. It was, I think, team rules. It wasn't exactly specified, but earned his way back on the team. We'll see how much of a role he could play this year, because that would be huge. The defensive line with Coach Sean Spencer just always seems to be so talented, Lisa, no matter who's in there. They had 2 players retire, unfortunately, because of injury. Very good players, and Ryan Buchholz and Torrance Brown, but I still think they have that strength up front. They're always rotating players. That won't be an issue. And the secondary, a big strength as they get a guy like John Reed back from injury. So you look at the team and you say, where's the weaknesses for Penn State this season? I think it's the schedule, Lisa. Such a tough schedule this year. I think there's a lot of good teams in the Big Ten. You have Wisconsin coming on the schedule. Yes, it's at Beaver Stadium. You play a tough Iowa team. You have to play Ohio State, of course, Michigan State in that Big Ten East. I think if you lose 1 or 2, maybe even 2 games this year in the Big Ten, you might still make it to Indianapolis. There's just so many good teams, so you can't get frustrated. You can't lose the ship if you lose 1 or 2 games. You got to keep it going. I think that is definitely going to be key.
Final predictions. What are you saying?
I'm saying 9-3. I went 10-2 last year. I think 9-3 this year. You get to another good bowl game and you win that. I think is super successful. But I wouldn't be surprised if they're in the college football playoff, if they have 0 losses. I do think that the talent is there. Recruiting's gone very well for James Franklin. The confidence is there. But I'm going to say 9-3.
I'm going to go with undefeated because I'm an optimist and I love Penn State. So I say, hey, go for undefeated. If not, I still think they're going to be playing for a championship as well. So we'll have to see how it all turns out. Regardless of what the columns say, the win, lose, the bottom line is 1, 2, 3. We are
Penn State.
Notre Dame, normally it's always their offense is going to be high power, but this year the buzz is actually around the Fighting Irish defense.
Yeah, they have 10 of 11 starters back. I think they're going to be a good defense, and they're going to have a nice defense, but I don't think they're going to score too many points. You know, the jury's out on Brandon Wimbush. I think he'll be backup quarterback by game 4. That's what I would think. But the defense is going to be their strong point. And it wasn't that great last year. So even though they have 10 of 11 back, that doesn't mean it's going to be great. You know, but I think that definitely will be their strong point.
All right, Ronnie's sold on this Notre Dame offense struggling, and that's now what I want to talk about is Notre Dame's offense. They have a lot of shoes to fill. They lose a couple linemen. 2 linemen actually go in the top 10 of the NFL draft, which is incredible. You lose Josh Adams. He goes pro a year early. Inquidius St. Brown goes pro a year early. So there's some shoes to fill on that Notre Dame offense.
Yeah, so why are they picked at number 9 or wherever they're picked? They're picked pretty high. Because of their defense? Because I really don't know. I mean, they have a lot of question marks, you know. And the biggest question mark to me is Brian Kelly. I thought if he wouldn't have beat LSU last year in the bowl game, I thought he would be gone. But I figure he's going to go 8-4 this year, and but I'm not happy with that. I could almost tell you the losses. Michigan, they're going to lose to Virginia Tech away. Navy's always there. Northwestern's going to be tough. Florida State, USC. There's the 4 losses. I hope I'm wrong, but and that could all change if they beat Michigan.
Let's give Brian Kelly some credit. He did win 10 games last year. A little bit of a hiccup at the end of the year when they lost to Miami and lost to Stanford. They came back. They won that bowl game, though. But I think to start the year off, after a 10-3 season, you shouldn't be on the hot seat. You think he's on the hot seat right now going into game 1. I think you got to wait and see. What if they win 9, 10, 11 games this year?
He's not on the hot seat now, but I think he's going to be on a hot seat before season's over.
Well, I say, I was going to ask you about the Notre Dame recruiting, but I could tell that you're not sold on that offense. But the reason why I'm bringing that up is because Notre Dame, it seems like year in and year out, they've been in the top 10 or 15 each year in recruiting classes. So I feel, especially with Notre Dame's offense, I know their defense has struggled, but I feel like their offense could replace those guys quickly because it seems like year in and year out, we do see some new faces, and the guys are good. I mean, last year, that LSU bowl game, there were guys catching passes for touchdowns. I didn't even see them play all year. So I think that Notre Dame's in a recruiting standpoint, especially in the offensive side of the ball, where they could replace these guys quick. If they win that Michigan game, I think they could definitely go 10-2. If they lose that one, I'm going to say 9-3. But I think a 9-10 win season for Notre Dame again this season. Pretty solid. Ronnie, thank you for being here, and thank you for discussing Notre Dame football with us.
Oh, it was fun. It was fun.